What we are saying is very clear. Of course, from the side of His Excellency Wike, there is expectation of this crisis. From the side of Governor Fubara, there is also an expectation from this crisis. Right. What Pandef is saying is that there must be a middle course. Are you concerned that there's ethnic coloration to this, Ikwere, Ijaw, and what have you? What that is why we are saying that there must be a political solution. Because what we are seeing, if this thing is not given a political solution, it will boomerang into a crisis that will affect not just the Niger Delta, but Nigeria at large. Well, the minister has dismissed the threat, saying that no ethnic group has monopoly of violence, and that the threat of violence, should anything happen in Rivers State, including the impeachment of the governor, is politically motivated. So from this speech, you can see that there's a looming crisis. Okay. And this looming crisis is not good at a time that Nigeria wants to increase oil production in the region. All right. You understand very clearly that it is the oil and gas that sustain Nigeria economy. And anything that has to temper with the free flow of the oil is not good for Nigeria.
It is with humility and a sense of responsibility that I address you today, following my appointment as Administrator of Rivers State by His Excellency President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, GCFR, Commander-in-Chief of the Armed Forces of the Federal Republic of Nigeria.
Just like the founder said, when I look at the array of speakers, the keynote speakers and so on, I'm quite pleased that the conversation today will be good, especially relating to what is currently happening in the country regarding Rivers State. As we gather here today, we are reminded that the pursuit of social change is a continuous journey, one that requires a collective effort, commitment, and perseverance. The theme of this colloquium is timely and relevant as we seek to address the present issue of our time, from inequality and bigotry to social injustice and marginalization. I believe that it is mark of good leadership and governance to be able to leverage the transformative power of diversity, equity, and inclusion for social change. As a leader, I have seen how these values can bring people together, foster a sense of belonging, and unlock the full potential of individuals and communities. And that is why till today, I think I appointed more women into office than any other president. Because the issue of inclusivity is critical. However, I have also seen how the absence of these values can lead to division, inequality, and social unrest. It is therefore a responsibility as leaders and change makers to promote a culture of diversity and inclusion, one that values and respects the dignity and worth of every human being and protects the interests of all of us. We must not forget that societies that embrace diversity, equity, and inclusion are more innovative, resilient, and harmonious. I know this because I saw how policies that promoted gender equality, youth empowerment, and regional balance during my time as president helped bridge divides and foster national unity. I am glad that the Askes Tomorrow Foundation is committed to this noble cause, and I commend the foundation's effort towards promoting social change and empowerment through its various initiatives. Today's colloquium is a testament to this commitment, and I'm confident that our discussions and deliberations will yield valuable insights and recommendations in this regard. And I did mention that what is happening in the country, everybody talks about Rivers State on television, and some of these are the issues we discuss. We're talking about building a society where no one is oppressed, as reflected in the top paragraph of our national anthem. as a former president and also from the Niger Delta. When the issue of suspending the governor came up, I think people call on me, oh, President Jonathan, oh, President Obasanjo, you should say something. People expected us to say something about what is happening. And of course, people don't even know that traditionally all over the world, former presidents hardly make statements about what the current presidents are doing because of the tension it could create in the country. In most cases, look at America, look at everywhere. So hardly for former presidents to make, sometimes you see and you believe. And of course, what is happening in Nigeria today regarding the situation in River State is like an Indian proverb that said that if somebody is sleeping, really sleeping, you can easily wake up that person. But if the person is pretending to sleep, you find it difficult to wake up that person. The key actors in Nigeria, from executive to the legislature, luckily Senator Binta and others are here, and the judiciary, they know the correct thing to do. But they are refusing to do it. They are pretending to sleep. And waking such a person is extremely difficult because the person knows the right thing. A clear abuse of offices, clear abuse of power, clear abuse of privileges, cutting across from the three arms of government, from the executive to the parliament to the judiciary. And I always plead with our people that whatever we do affects everybody. And sometimes we do things and we think that it doesn't affect us. I've been a president before, and even after leaving office as a former president, people get to me. Why is that our passport is not valued that much? Why is that Nigerians are not given the kind of treatment we're supposed to receive at the international airports? Sometimes we think it's because of Yahoo boys or 419ers. No, not only them. Yes, they are part of the problem. But whatever happens in the country, decisions that are taken by the executive arm of government, decisions that are taken by the parliament, judicial decisions affect everybody. For example, no businessman can bring his money to invest in a country where the judiciary is compromised, where a government functionary can dictate to judges what judgment they will give. No man brings his money to invest in that economy because we are taking a big risk. So whatever we do affects everybody. And if we must build a nation for our children and our grandchildren, no matter how painful it is, we must strive to do what is right. It may cost us, but we must endeavor and pay the price to insist on doing what is right. Whether you are holding an executive office as a president, a minister, or a governor, or a special advisor, or executive, whether you are holding an office in the parliament, senate, or rep, whether you're a judicial officer at the high courts or appellate courts, we must strive to do what is right. If we want to build a nation.
Hello, good evening, SC viewers. If you are new to this channel, kindly like, share, subscribe, and please do not forget to hit the notification bell. Mr. Chinedu Michael, we are seeing a new twist from Ijaw Nation saying that they are going to consider their stand in Nigeria, talking about self-determination. We understand that the Jaws are not new to self-determination. In the past, Adakaboro rose to say they want Ijaw ethnic nationality as a sovereign state. This time around, they are not taking it easy with Tinubu. They are not taking it easy with Nigeria. They are summoned in a meeting to consider their self-determination, and they want to collaborate with Biafra.
Yes, you can see this thing rose as a result of somebody from South who came and dwarfed Ijaw's influence in Nigeria. Of course, not only in Nigeria, in South, and completely rendered them to a level of minority upon minority, minority upon minority of minority. No matter, So I think that was actually what has ignited, the anger. It's not necessarily the target on the Opopo man, from Ubani area of Opopo. That Ubani area of Opopo was founded by an Igbo man.
But what does it mean for Biafra struggle? If I may ask?
No, what it means is that, you know, the realization, if you look at what Adekaboro actually did as at that time, you know, was just within the axis of Bayelsa alone. And if you look at it now, you will know that before then, the man from Sierra Leone has started, before even, it's not that people does not understand history. The Igbo man that took over Sierra Leone and Gambia and in those days have already started agitation for Biafra. And that was where as he got that inspiration, you know, to proclaim less than 1 million people at that time as a sovereign Niger Delta Republic. You know, and the people, if you look at it now, it was simply targeted on the influence, the growing influence of their own brothers, you know. And when it became a reality, it did not say Biafra. He never said Biafra. He said Niger Delta Republic. And if the world want to grant somebody a nation or a country, a republic or a sovereignty, was in truth and honesty, was the Ijaw nation, as at that time, under as Igboro, has the economy, the population, the geographical space to actually make a nation.
But what do you want to come together with Biafra?
You see, we need to correct some of these things that planted is a certain seed that people are now feasting on and to target their own brothers, their own neighbors, who have never for one day taken any of their lives. Even when at the proclamation of Biafra, the man, instead of returning Niger Delta Republic, he joined Nigeria military against his own brother. I am not saying that people, he was a former police officer, I know, Isaac Boro, but I'm not saying that, you know, people are not entitled. But in all rationality, at least when you come to understand that, okay, people are, it has come to this level, a man from Bayelsa, Paul has already suggested Biafra, then you switch over to Biafra Alliance as at that time and let this synergy, because as at that time the viability of it, even till now, and that's what Wike is talking about, that with that Igbo influence there's no Ijaw, but it has come to a point that, you know, they feel that the ego has been thrown to the gutters. And when you see so many of them that are coming up and saying, you know, what is actually, you know, going on. And I've seen some people saying that, from that as he's saying that I am from Ijaw, I stand for Biafra. I am from Bomadi, I stand for Biafra. I am from Patani, I stand for Biafra. I am from Masoma, I stand for Biafra. You can see different people, you know, coming from that angle saying it. But it has become a clear thing that at that level, there's going to be a serious reach-out and amalgamation between the Ijaw nation and, of course, the Biafran movement, which most of them have signaled that there's likely going to be, you know, a serious union between these people. The Igbo man does not see the Ijaw man as a minority. The Igbo man see an Ijaw man as a brother, not as a minority.
If I may ask this question, this recent move of Ijaw nation for self-determination, what does it mean for Biafra struggle and Biafra sovereignty?
Of course, what it means is they have seen what Emeka Odumegwu, the Kemba one of Inewi, saw so many years ago. They've also seen what Mazi Nnamdi Kanu saw. They've also seen what the likes of Simon Ekpa have seen. You know, they have also seen that, you know, the quest to drive sanity among ethnic nationalities in Nigeria was only respected by the Igbos.
But ultimately, what does it mean for Nigerian unity
well, balkanization has always been the direction to go in an entity that refuses to work. As simple as that. There's no nation in the world today, including America, including UK, that does not have ethnic nationalities. There's no nation. So what is important is at this point in time is to put everything on the table and let the Ijaw nation side. But let me tell you, from the Biafran Charter and the Biafran Constitution that is coming up any moment from now, and some of it has been made public. It shows that every resources that is coming from Ijaw land will be for the Ijaw people.
So if I may ask this question, do you advise the Ijaw nation to collapse their struggle for Ijaw sovereignty into Biafra struggle?
Bros, every ethnic group in Nigeria, in Biafra land, is a nation.
In a nation.
Every ethnic nationality in Biafran land is seen as a nation. And I don't know. Yes, he's seen as a nation on his own. But when we are talking about, unification, you understand what I'm saying? When you're talking about unification, when you're talking about building a synergy, a country, a solid sovereignty, we are talking about respecting the respective will and autonomy of those minorities, ethnic national minorities that make up the component of a nation, of sovereignty of Biafra. That's what we're talking about. Nobody is going to relegate. The Igbo man is not interested in whatever that is coming out from Ijaw. The Igbo themselves, as you can tell you categorically today, including control 7 states of the south, and southeast region presently now, and to an extent, Middle Belt. So you cannot tell me that those people from Idoma and others are also seen as a nation. So the judge should not look at it from the angle that, what is it on the ground? What is on the ground is that they are not the only ethnic nationality within the Biafra geographical sovereignty. That's the fact. And if
we are talking about mutual respect for each and every,
I'm talking about unification of all the ethnic nations, even those who are tendering the referendum to join, to be accommodated, will be accommodated as long as it is all about sovereignty, it's all about humanity, it's all about advancement, it's all about economy, it's all about mutual interest, it's not about oppression. But I can tell you that it has become very clearly that the world themselves have come to realize that the Igbo people and the Ijaw people can actually come together to move Biafra nation forward, considering the strength of each other. It is well needed. And another thing I want to add to this is that, the present Pandev leaders and the Ijaw Youth Council have already signified that this is the direction we want to go. And if this thing has come to this level, what is there that is remaining? Because if you look at it, to be a nation, it takes a lot of things. The world will look at a lot of things. So what that self-determination movement is signaling is unification with the Biafran sovereignty. That's what it means. The Idoma people are also signaling. The Ambazonia, we are looking at the expansion, because of the maritime strength that is attached to it. So I believe in the present day leadership of Pandev, what they are trying to do, because what has happened to Fubara today is an embarrassment to the Ijaw people who have worked successfully. If I can quote Asari Dokubo, Tombolo, Ateketom, and so many of the ex-militants in this regard, they became up that, but I'm surprised that most of them are coming out to say that it was the Igbo people that have been ruling River State. But it wasn't. You can see how they were hiding under certain umbrella. They never recognized the presence of Igbo in River State. But they were not saying that it was the Igbo people in River State that were ruling. And it is time for the Ijaw people to rule. And I am in support of that. I'm not against it. I believe that the Ijaw should also have a fair share because, Bayelsa alone, where they are predominantly significant. With from what we are getting, the Ijaw community, the Ijaw people in River State cannot be able to muster enough voting strength to be able to vote for a governor in River State because of that level. But the way it looks now, would they say that Mazin Nnamdi Kanu is not correct? Would they say that what Ojukwu was talking about is not correct, you know. But so what we're saying at this point that it has become a reality that we are seeing direct signal of threat to the extermination of the old eastern region. And it's a plea to every one of them, you know, and no matter where you come from, whether you are Urobo, Ishekiri, whatever you are, wherever you are, you know, to look at it from the direction of unification and unity and push for independence, for continuity, and for recognition of the Republic of Biafra. Let me give you an instance. Anybody that is thinking in that direction that the reason for Biafra is crude oil. Plus, I don't want to cause any. I don't want to say anything funny at this point. But it will be unfortunate for people, for this generation of the young people, for this generation to think in that direction that the Biafra is about crude oil. Who tells you that? The Igbo man has not been in power for so long, for over 64 years, and the Igbos are still surviving without even the crude oil. And the Mazen American have said this severally. The interest is let the young people control their crude oil, let everybody control whatever he has. As simple as that. And that is not going to be what we are experiencing in Nigeria. They are trying to bring Fubara down because they felt that Fubara is sitting on the wealth of River State, where River State alone contributes about 45% to 50% of national revenue. So how will you justify that?
Let me say a very big thank you for your time. This is an ongoing conversation. We hope to have you next time to further this conversation. But for now, I think this is a good place to end.